So to create our EA models, we need to based on pedagogical foundations. So now I'm going to ask our partner from UNITAD which pedagogical foundations were used to define the different AI models that we have used.
Main foundations of this project came from theoretical foundations called classical, and also from contemporary theories. The classical theories are mainly constructivism, behaviorism, and behaviorism. And these theories mainly are related to learning process and how to apply to the processes that normally take place in schools or in classrooms. But we have to take into account that we are applying this into a context with a high level of digitalization. So we apply also the contemporary theorism of Meyer for apply all this context to the learning digital process. So in this case, we try to see how students can be active when learning from platforms like Moodle, for example, or from other platforms. And the result of those foundations of these theories can be linked to the key performance indicators that we have in our project.
First, want to mention that the initial idea was other. Remember, we had three main objectives: dropout prevention, active learning, and personalized tutoring. So the idea was to use classical machine learning algorithms to, for instance, predict when a student is going to drop out, so the teachers could take some action before the student actually drops out. But we encounter several problems, starting with the amount of data that we have, both historical and also with some of the use cases didn't have much students, so the sample was very little. So we were thinking how we could solve this, but in the end we decided that the best approach would be to change completely the type of algorithms, the AI, and go with generative AI. Since also in the last few years and months it has been evolving so much, and there's a lot of good things that can be done with it. So also having in mind these three objectives, we thought about how we could use AI generative to also fulfill these three objectives. So that's why using OpenAI algorithms and LLMs, we built a chatbot that it tackles the three objectives at the same time while making more enjoyable the learning experience. The idea is to reduce drop down because the user is more engaged, and by active learning and personalized tutoring is also fulfilled because the chatbot is intended to make the user think by themselves to find the answer, and also it provides personalized resources as if it was a teacher.
Mm-hmm. So finally, the AI model that we have used is to build a chatbot, but it's very beautiful to build a chatbot or to tell everybody, but can you tell us which challenges have we got with the chatbot?
Uh-huh. So we had to design how the conversation will flow, because of course we don't want a chatbot to just for the user to chat with. There's a lot of online resources for that. We all have used GPT, and it's very useful also, but we wanted something very specific of each course. And this chatbot will be an expert of the content of each use case, and for that also we didn't want the chatbot to give conversation about the weather or about solving personal problems. So we had to design how the chatbot will behave with the multiple inputs they can receive for students. So also there's two main functionalities, as I said before. There's the solution guider that we call, which the chatbot answers the questions to the student. Questions that maybe the student didn't understand totally something of the course, so can be clarified with the chatbot. But also the chatbot asks the student questions to check their knowledge, like a kind of a game that after answering every question, if the user fails to answer the question correctly, that same question will arise in the future until the chatbot considers like check the student knows this question. So for that we had to design all this flow and when to switch from one functionality to another, and also taking into account that the student will try to have casual conversation, quick talks with the chatbot. So how to redirect the user to what the chatbot is built for.
Mm-hmm. And how was the ethics of the model? Sure.
Yeah, the ethics is something we always had in the top of our minds. First of all, data protection. In Moodle hosts data from the students, but we are receiving also the data from the chatbot. So we are ensuring that data from the student is not coming out Moodle, but only for future analysis, the conversations the student has with the chatbot. To do that, also we have a disclaimer very clear for the student that it says you are speaking with an AI, and also keep in mind that the conversations are being recorded. So I think it's something essential to warn the student about this. And well, also we have been speaking with data protection experts, and we have signed an agreement of data protection. And also there are some other things like not being too intrusive, the chatbot not to pop up every second to the student. We have that in mind, and in the beginning it was a little bit more intrusive, but we made it less. Mm-hmm. And then finally, it's also multilingual, so it's more it's inclusive in that way, so that the chatbot it adapts to the language of the course.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's an interesting thing about the different languages. We will see after in the use cases.
So besides data protection we already talked about, there was you had to collect all the knowledge of the courses of each use case, and this was challenging because every each of the use case was a different format, different. Some had videos, others didn't. Was in one PDF or different formats. No, so we had to use different tools to extract the knowledge and the content that was valuable for the chatbot to know. Also, we have to explore different configurations in Moodle so that the chatbot could know, based on Moodle's information, in what module and at what were the modules that the student had already reviewed, what exercise he had done, or what others were left. So in the end, we have to configure all the settings so that we have this information. And yeah, others, well, in development, there's also other type of challenges, such as make it compatible with the different versions of Moodle. Yeah, make it work.
We have had also some challenges deciding which is the correct format that give us the correct data we need without issues and
a lot of testing as well to make sure the chatbot was properly configured.
mixing different activities in Moodle, maybe some activities that give us very good data, but if we use these activities integrated in another type of activity, maybe we didn't reach the data, and we have done a lot of work researching how can we collect the correct data.
Well, for this we take into account not only students but also teachers, because even although the needs for these two collectives are different, at the end they are very close. So what we need to the students and what is good for them? First of all, individualized learning. And this is what we can offer with this kind of tools, for example. But as you teachers are, here many teachers, you know that we are teaching just how much? 10% of our time, the rest of our time is dedicated to bureaucratic tasks or other type of tasks, administrative tasks and something. So this kind of tools allow us to center our attention in the process of teaching and learning, because we can get from the system several parameters related to performance, grades and so, and also a very important parameter related to dropout, that is demonstrated to be the engagement of the student in the system. So these are the main parameters we try to include in the system, and we can monitorize them and get some results of this engagement, participation and entrance of the students in the system.
I believe that each partners try to do the best when creating the educational program. Why? Because with the educational program we want to enhance like teachers and like other participants, for example. What we want to do? We want to create the material, for example, that could be used when teaching processes or when learning. But to do this, okay, we have a lot of challenges, okay? So first of all is perhaps how to design it that it should be as interactive as possible. At the beginning, of course, without the help of generated elements of artificial intelligence was even harder, because it is just shown like where we are doing in previous times. But with the help of AI, I think that the partners and with the solution also of AI4Ed bot, that it was even more interesting, because it gives the participants ability to solve interactive the problems, to perhaps even to test themselves what is important for them, at what level it is. And I believe that with the educational program we try to emphasize the active learning process on the different level of the participants that are applying in this project. Okay, and I believe at the part we certainly succeeded. But this educational program is very different if I'm the students from vocational level, or I'm the students from I don't know, university level. Okay, also my expectations are quite different. For school center, for example, for us it is important that educational program is as concrete as possible because we are dealing with students of age of 15 to 19, okay? And it is a totally different approach. And then the solution of the chatbot is very useful because it can integrate this interaction between students, chatbot, teachers, and the feedback are also very important. And I believe this is a part of the question or answer also by using toolkit, okay, to implement it.
The toolkit was designed as part of this project and as a support tool for designers. But I think that even in this case, it's useful also for other tasks. For example, for develop systems that use artificial intelligence or autonomous systems for develop learning, teaching context. And for that, the toolkit was divided into several modules that each one dedicated to one of the main aspects of our project. We have a module for teaching learning, a module for the training cases, for the use cases, and so on. And I think that can be used in a broad context. So it's a tool that will be in the on the web page of the project, and that can be accessed by everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's too early to say what was the impact because the project is just finishing and we don't have deep data for that. But in my opinion, as I am asking our colleagues and having some feedback of them, the opinion is very positive. But it's true that we have to attend some of the considerations we get from students, from people who was been using our tools and so. But at this moment, I think the impact is good, it's positive, and could be a tool that we can use in the future with few modifications.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. So in this project, after researching and knowing which are the best options to solve those problems that we have nowadays in education, we have like the toolkit that Sonia has explained to us, also the training program that Yasmina explains a little bit, but each partner also has done a use case, and a part of having the training program and the toolkit to help also another entities, another universities, another schools to implement AI in education to help in that personalizing teaching or studying process. We apply also all those things in the reality. We have done different use cases. So I think the use cases had a good impact between our students, as Yasmina told, the different type of students. So I want to know a little bit about each use cases. Maybe the IMH use case, we will explain it at the final, because I have invited two students, so when they are coming to speak about it. So who wants to start explaining the use case? Coming here to the microphone and speak about that.
Explanation about our use case. So in Portugal, the vocational training system is based on short training units of 25 and 50 hours. So means that our use case is a short training unit of 50 hours related with the subject of CNC. Our use case has an approach that is a project and a case study based learning. means that over the 50 hours, the students have to develop a project. Of course, to develop a project, the students need to acquire a set of knowledge, skills, and attitudes. And how do they do that? They need to go through different case studies. Okay? So they go through different case studies, and they, at the beginning, they receive a recommended sequence of the case studies that they need to do, that they need to perform. It is a recommended sequence because it depends on the student's background. So they don't need to do all the case studies because they have background, they have a previous professional experience. So at the beginning, we, through an interview, we recognize and we validate the knowledge that they already have. So, and then we decide which case studies each student needs to develop. When they go through each case study is in practice a practical scenario, a challenge they need to solve. And in the project, the introduction of AI and the chatbot, it's actually a quite powerful tool for the students because since they have to discuss each other and since they have to find out a solution for each scenario or for each case study, through the chatbot they can support with the chatbot and they can discuss and put questions in the chatbot in order to find out, to help them to find out a solution for each case study. So from our experience, that is of course quite new, we are applying the AI and chatbot for the first time in our learning process. It's been a quite interesting experience. Of course, you need more time to have a real data to take more effective conclusions, but I would say that so far the feedback that we got from the students is quite positive. Of course, that we need some time also to teach the students how to use the chatbot, okay, to put the right questions to the chatbot, how they should interact with the chatbot, and also in the teacher's point of view. It's also quite important. We also got some positive feedback, but of course, again, you need more time to test. And for the teacher point of view, it's quite important because with the introduction of AI and the chatbot, it forces in the good way the teachers to rethink the learning process and to have a critical thinking about of the learning resources that myself as a teacher I develop. So that's, I would say, a key point in the learning process. And when I start applying these kind of tools like the chatbot, one of the major challenges maybe that I can have as a teacher today is that I must be prepared and I must be able to challenge my students all the time. Okay, that's one of the key points nowadays. And of course, when I'm challenging students with the goal to keep them engaged and motivated in the learning process, I must be prepared for the turning point. Is the point where the students start challenging me as well. So that's the major challenge that we have today with the introduction of AI and the chatbot, for instance. So let's keep working and we'll see the results in the coming months.
It's completely asynchronous e-learning about additive manufacturing, AM, but this is not this important. Important is this asynchronity. So there's no interaction between teacher and student foreseen, and the students are completely free to work on the learning units whenever they want and how they want. So they can follow the suggested way through the different units, or they can completely move differently. So this e-learning has a huge degree of freedom. And our basic assumption is that with the help of artificial intelligence, it might be possible to identify navigation patterns that show or that bear the risk of dropout. And these navigation patterns that if you have many students and they have complex, very individual navigation patterns, it's impossible for a human intelligence to follow all of them. Now we collected the data and last month, and now we are analyzing the data, for example, with the question whether the quantity and quality of the use of the chatbot of a certain student, user 25, corresponds to the success in the final tests of the modules.
So I can say that we start a new age after AI. So we also have students, and so we want to tell them that the AI is a tool. So we make a use case with a 5-hour module about topic AI, and we like it or not, students need to work by themselves in this module. They need to work interactive, and I must tell that they must expand their knowledge. They must click to links, they must open another topics, and they need a support by practical examples. So we put these examples and these topics into one module, and they work interactive. But after all, they need some mentor, some teacher who will support the student work, who give him human support, and who will, how to say, control the work. The teacher needs some some data which show the teacher progress of the students and support them in the future work. So this is our use case.
Now we are in a moment to validate and to prove what we have researched, what we have done, and I don't remember who has speak about that, but we need time to recollect the correct data and to get more conclusions about the use case, the training program, and all the research we have done.
Okay, so thank you for the question, Yasmina. Okay, I can say that as you explained before, well, we are in applied research project. We are in quite innovative project. We are trying to introduce artificial intelligence possibilities, potential support in training processes. Okay, we are very very practical oriented. We are developing very practical oriented training processes in vocational training, but also in engineering level in our case. Okay? And our challenge is to introduce the advanced technologies to improve the students' learning achievements, the students' experience in the teaching and learning processes. And this is our main goal with this project. We are trying to introduce different use cases, but as you explained, maybe we didn't have enough time to achieve the last answers. Okay, we achieved some improvements. We are quite positive in our experience. But we have to improve. We have to improve quite a lot. We have strategic issues. One of it is the data strategy. We need data. We need more data. We need much more precise data. We need to work the quality of data. Maybe sometimes we are we're speaking about the tools. The tools are very important, but I think that our main challenge is how to manage the data, the quantity and the quality of the data. Maybe this is the main clue of our project. We learn quite a lot about that. We learn quite a lot in how to manage this information, which tools we can use to achieve this needed data. Have some problems, some quite important problems, because in this project we were trying and we are trying to work together different schools, different universities, different countries, with different laws, with different experiences, with different learning processes. And it's very complex to manage together and to achieve the same data, same strategies, same learning processes, and we have had quite, I can say that quite big problems the first year and a half. But I think that the last year we achieved quite good learning. We learned quite a lot as a group, as we have some new experience into how to apply, which is our challenges, problems, and I think that in this moment we are in a quite good moment to really implement and boost these experiences. I think that we learned quite a lot. We achieved to apply some quite interesting use cases, and we don't have enough time really to take the answers to how to extend these experiences. So we apply use cases, and now we have to work to extend these experiences and to become more and to apply in different subjects, different strategies, and so on and so on. So I'm very happy for the project. We have to say that we have had problems at the beginning, but I think that now, today, we are showing that quite good clues, quite good use cases, quite good learning processes from different schools, and I think that we are in a quite good moment to implement and to boost this technology to increase the students' experience, because this is the clue. The objective isn't to be a model. The objective is to support the students and their learning processes. And I think that we are in a quite good moment to work harder in this process. So this is my opinion.